Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. Happy Halloween. So everyone's doing well? Mexi, B9, Tracy. I think I seen Shauna up there somewhere. Good to see you guys. So you have already started your Halloween journey, Tracy. Is it no trick-or-treaters out yet? I'm bad because I tell you what, I close my doors. Between the dogs, my dogs, I swear to God, every time I would open the door, Jazzy would be halfway to Mexico before I could catch her. I tell you what. Lizzie, she'd stay close, but I mean, she's a little Rottweiler. So, well, not little, I guess, but so people just are not that happy to meet her usually. She's a nice girl. So, this case, guys, what the hell is going on? Hey, Douglas, welcome. Good to see you. So, yeah, what is going on out there? How many lawyers does he have now? Like, I don't think that his original. Yes, more chocolate for you. I don't think the original lawyers are planning on going anywhere. So there is a deadline. Let's see here. What have I got? So November 9th, they have until to get everything together to try and get Fran Gull out of her current post. Because, I mean, there's talk about, and I mean, I can't confirm this, but there's talk of what they're calling the good old boys. And you know how typically that works. So, there's been a lot of really crazy, crazy things been going on around this case lately. Yes, right, P9? There's something not right with this whole thing. It is crazy and all this shifting. Yeah, it's true. I do not understand how the judge can legally just say no to them. So I think that this November 9th, they'll set a time. I miss James. Hello, James. Good to see you, mister. I'm really curious to see what happens with her because I mean, just my personal opinion, but you know what? I'm not seeing ethical things happen, I don't think. It almost seems like I'm watching someone who's having a power trip. I mean, it's again my opinion. Nobody sue me for my opinion, but there's something wrong happening in Delphi. Do you know what? There's something wrong happening in Flora. Few of these things have a few of these cases have common denominators. So there's really lots to think about again. No, usually judges do not get involved unless the client fires his own attorney. That's right. That's right. And I don't know. Okay, they might have some trouble with Baldwin. That could happen, right? Hello, Mel. Good to see you, as always. Um, I mean, there's just so much wrong here, guys. I don't even know where to begin. And honestly, there's only drips and drabs coming out. So, hey, Dandy. Hello, Dandy. So, I mean, I think things are going to just slip through the cracks. There's been some stuff said about certain podcasters. There's all sorts of stuff out there. So I don't know what's true and what's not true. I can only go by what's being said out there, It's the leaks right now that are giving us all of this stuff. It's the leaks. But the defense released crime scene. Yep, and the judge had to take action. I get that, and it wasn't really, it wasn't really the defense that released it. The Defense was definitely negligent for allowing anybody to use an office that has anything to do with any case so available. Yeah, that's not good. But what do you think about his buddy, Rozzy? It was not his office. The leak didn't come from him. So it's like, I'm not sure. He might have some grounds. He had literally nothing to do with this. And if he was forced into humiliation or you quit, that's not ethical either. So it's just, yes, agreed. Defense is responsible. The share office is a weak excuse. So what do you think about Rozzy, James, that this did not come out of his office? This did not have anything to do with Rozzy's office. This was strictly they'll never find out where the leak's from if he is forced to have attorneys he does not want. That is grounds for a mistrial. That's where I'm worried. That is absolutely where I am worried, P9. You know, they really need to start from scratch. They really do. To give him any kind of fair trial, everything has to be started from scratch again, you know. Rozzy, he wants to stay. Is he able to force him out when the leak did not come from his attorney's office? I don't know. Hey, how you doing, AC? Here for the light. Good luck with the stream. I can't listen as I'm streaming. You rock. You rock. You are so appreciated. So the alternate corner is in the description, guys. He has got like one of the best channels out there. I tell you what, he's growing. So check him out, sub him up, hit the like button. And he does trials and great chat. So yeah, check him out. Didn't these new attorneys talk ish about the case in the beginning? Yeah, there is talk of that. There is talk that one of these new attorneys, now I haven't had time to truly look into that as much as I need to, but yeah, it does sound like one was already calling him like pretty disgusting names. The defense team is responsible for the disclosed. Okay, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. Who's gonna own up to being the one who leaked these very important documents? Career, yeah. Yeah. But you know what? He did. Right away he did. He went up and he said, "This came out of my office. This is how basically it went." He gave names and said, "This guy took these from my office. He wasn't part of the case. He did this." And then he forwarded on to another fellow who unalived himself not long after. Can't say 1,000% it's related, but it is out there. And then that guy sent it to somebody else, and the other person sent it to Murder Sheet Podcast. So it's a long kind of, it's a long polluted. It's horrible. The whole thing is horrible. We've got a whole year to wait now. I think we need to cover the dentist for now. I believe that it is criminal to take pictures out of that file, make them public. This is two little kids, a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old. None of that ish deserves to be out there. You know what I mean? Nobody needs to see those pictures. I find it disgusting. If they know who it is or they, why isn't there any criminal charges being brought? There should be. I wouldn't be surprised if there is eventually. I hear screaming kids outside my house. No, never have sweets and chocolate. Well said. Justice delayed is justice denied. The Delphi case is about 2 little girls who were dropped off at like a public path that led to an old trestle that the girls like to go out, cross this like massive trestle, take pictures, and it was actually Abby's first time. She was a little nervous crossing that bridge, and fair enough. Well, not long after they got there, they were victimized by a fellow that is now they call Bridge Guy. So, what one of the little girls did, Libby, she had her phone ready and was able to videotape some of this guy. And they've given us about how many seconds, guys, of this? 7 out of 40 seconds of this guy saying to the girls down the hill. Now, I don't know if that's audio or video because we're cut off. We get a very brief clip of that. So now this guy, Richard Allen, has been accused and is sitting in the Hooskow. Meanwhile, it's looking like a 3-second video. Is it that short? Guys down the hill. Yeah. Yeah. So now it's this guy's it's looking like there's some corruption happening out in Delphi. I don't know, but it is looking like there's something really, really dirty going on around there. I can't say for sure. It's just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, it's atrocious. It's atrocious what's happened to this case. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, so right now, Richard Allen exactly is who they're naming as Bridge Guy. So there's been a few witnesses that were on that path and near that bridge, and some actually under the bridge by the sounds of things. So everybody on that path, not that it was just a few people ultimately, but everyone's kind of got a different description of what this guy looks like. But one thing that has never come out of any of the witnesses' mouths is that this guy was 5'4". Gonna stand out a little. Yes, one of the girls filmed the alleged leader, Bridge Guy, aka Richard Allen. It's, this is a case that has been, some of them they get close to your heart. And this one has. I mean, way before I started covering trials on here. Way before then. No. So I'm hydrating here. I got this stuff. I don't know if anybody else gets it. It's called Roar Organic Blueberry. Oh my God. It tastes like cheap wine. It's just the grossest crap. It's got electrolytes, but it's just like, oh, yuck. Gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, let's get on this, friends. I cannot and will not allow these attorneys to represent you. Judge disqualifies Richard Allen's former attorneys and sets a new trial date. I don't know. Right, Shauna? It's like, I don't know. What the hell is going on with this case?
Another step in the Delphi murders case.
Richard Allen, the man charged in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, will be back in court in Carroll County. Samantha Johnson is live there this morning. Sam, a lot of new information over the past few days. What can we expect there today?
Well, Julia and Julia, we are expecting a big crowd here today. In fact, you can see there's already a few folks lined up here at the door. We just saw police come through with their canine crews to do a security sweep.
So it doesn't look like ultimately this takes very long once they're in the courthouse. It seems like it's a fairly brief hearing, I guess.
This will be the first time we've seen Richard Allen in more than 4 months. We do expect him to be here in person for today's hearing. The bigger question, and perhaps the main focus today, though, might be who is going to be representing him. And that's because you'll remember it was just a few days ago that the judge in this case, Judge Francis Gull, appointed 2 new attorneys for Allen after she said Allen's original public defenders stepped down. Well, that's when the
So what do you think about the judge being Facebook friends with one of these lawyers? And if you look into it, I mean, there's been problems, like big problems with one of them.
original attorneys fought back, saying they were coerced into withdrawing from this case, and now they're fighting to stay on it. In fact, 13 News has confirmed the original defense team has filed paperwork to continue representing Allen pro bono if need be. Now, another twist in this case this morning.
You see, they even offered to go pro bono on this case. They believe so strongly in his innocence. I don't know about this Odinist stuff, but they seem to believe very much. He wanted to keep them. You know, he wanted to keep them. So I really don't know how this all plays out.
Just the last 24 hours, a different group of attorneys has filed a petition with the Indiana Supreme Court. They want the justices to rule that Judge Gull acted inappropriately by removing court records from Allen's file. So we took those concerns to a longtime defense attorney.
Yeah, P9, that's what they're kind of looking at. They're saying they were coerced, so which does make this kind of sketchy. You know, everything has to be done if they want to be relieved of duty. I think there is a proper way to do it, and I don't think that that happened. You know, I think there's just ways to let them go. It's the most bizarre thing. This is not something you see very bloody often, you know. I mean, it just looks like a bunch of really bad apples with like the worst frickin' apple that's like still oozing worms is running the show. In my personal opinion, please don't sue me.
And former prosecutor who is not associated with this case, we asked her what a petition like this could really mean. Take a listen.
To that end, essentially, they're saying, can you tell the lower court to stop breaking the rules? So it's really a fancy legal way of saying, follow the rules and don't break them again.
So what could this mean really for the timing of this case, right? We've got that information for you right now at WTHR.com. Today's hearing is still scheduled for 9 o'clock despite all these new developments.
So, yeah, we know that did happen, right? Okay, where are you? Right there. We do know that happened. They were let go again. Even though the guy that's being tried wants to keep them. I have no idea how this plays out, guys. It's like, I've never seen such a thing. Richard Allen put himself at the crime scene, but the cops dropped the ball for 5 years. Fair enough, right? I agree. He admitted being there. He did. I thought that she'd have to have a hearing to prove whether or not they're truly neglected. That's kind of what I expected. That's kind of what I expected. And it does sound like it's not confirmed, but it does sound like everything was prepared by her before any of this happened. She had it kind of figured out who was going to be running the show, and it was not going to be those two. I'd give him a public defender and get the trial started. All right. It seems like they really want the guy to get convicted. So you have to wonder if, yes, where the investigation has led, LE. You know, and that's the thing that everybody is basically saying. Like, Why are you trying so hard to sink somebody? I mean, I have literally been the one that has said, that's the guy. That is the guy. They've got bridge guy due to the fact that he says he was there, due to the fact of the clothing, due to the fact of the age. But I'm really kind of I'm off balance now. They've thrown me off balance. I really do not know what to think of the whole system there at this point. I truly have no idea what to think of that part of Indiana's enforcement. I really don't get it. A lot of people are saying this. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, Patsy, I don't know. Like I said, I'm confused right now as to where it's the most bizarre thing. Yeah, she's putting her career in the Sixth Amendment on the line. Yes. There you go. Well said, friend. Well said. Maybe it's someone who has money and this guy may not have done it. Well, I don't know. Something's gone really sideways. Something feels really bad. Neither have I. I don't think I've ever seen this. And that's where we're at. You know, what the actual hell is going on in Delphi? Or what is going on in the area? Because I mean, like I said, there's still those little girls, all of those little girls from Flora. They do have Doug Carter and Toby Lesenby in common, but I am not saying that they're the guilty parties. I'm just saying that they do kind of work together in both of those areas. I mean, that's what I do believe, the way I understand it. Yeah, check out the information on Discord that we have on this. It is worth checking out, friends, because there's lots in there. And if you look in my playlist, there's lots. Even the very beginning when I started streaming, oh, it's bad. It's bad. I hope you can like get your way through it without like going, what? And in some way, this case, no one wants another Murdaugh trial. If convicted, could be so many loopholes for only overturning it. That's the thing, Tracy. Well said. Well said. What's the Sixth Amendment? Sixth Amendment guarantees the rights of a criminal defense, including the right to a public trial without unnecessary delay and right to a lawyer. Just brutal. And the right to an impartial jury and the right to know who your accusers are and the nature of the charges against you. Thank you very much, Mexi. I think it's the sixth thing, James, but able to pick up and have counsel of your choosing. Yeah, to pick and have counsel of your choosing. That's right. Being able to pick and have counsel of your choosing. Doug Carter, he's no Columbo, that's for sure. Couldn't find his nose. No, I think you're right. The Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution sets forth the right related to criminal prosecutions. It was ratified in 1791 as part of the United States Bill of Rights. To face the right of yours, yeah. All defendants have the right by law to a speedy trial. This one is slower than a snail. No, it's all good. It's like, I mean, they're probably breaking that too. Like, come on. And this is the thing, like, nobody wants to see this crap happen in a trial. And this show seems to be coming from, how do you put that, from the powers that be? Oh, this could get messy. This could get really messy if they find fault. If they find fault into her, there's possibly a chain that they could follow. I mean, I can't say for sure, but there's a lot being said right now out there. What's true and what's not, right? The original defense attorney in the Delphi case, who claimed they were forced to step down as Richard Allen's lawyers, have filed paperwork to represent Allen pro bono if they're not reinstated as his public defenders. October 19th hearing, Judge Fran Gull announced to a packed courtroom that Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rozzi were voluntarily withdrawing from the case. The withdrawals come on the heels of an evidence leak traced back to Baldwin. 1 week later, Rozzi has filed a motion claiming Judge Gull ambushed the defense with allegations of gross negligence during a conference in her Fort Wayne chambers last week. According to new court filings, not only did Rozzi push back on the judge calling for her disqualification by the Indiana Supreme Court, he also claimed he had no intention of stepping down. The Logansport attorney claims the judge's directive could deprive Allen of his right to counsel and further drag out the trial for a case that already took nearly 5 years to net an arrest. Rozzi also claimed that the attorneys were not permitted to defend themselves in open court due to the public shaming that would result from the court's admonishment of the defense team as prejudicial, damaging to its professional reputations and potentially tainting any anticipated jury pool. Despite those claims, Judge Gull issued an order reiterating that Rozzi and Baldwin have been dismissed and their names are removed from the court docket. Gull then appointed attorney Robert Screeman and attorney William S. Labrado as public defenders in Allen's case. It appears that by representing Allen pro bono, the attorneys would be able to continue representing him despite the judge's removal. Rozzi and Baldwin are expected to attend tomorrow's hearing at 9 a.m. along with 2 new attorneys. Okay, that's where we are, right? Yeah. She, bye-bye. Seemed to be what she thought was going to work. Habeas corpus. I'm not positive about that because I did hear somewhere that they were turning over all of the original disclosure, but anything that they worked on that they didn't plan on passing on. So I'm not even sure how that works, friend. My daughter needs rescuing from Halloween mobs. Oh, in that case, you're excused. My God. This case, I tell you what. You know what happened? I was finally sleeping in this morning. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. What's happening? Get up, Franky, get up. And we talked about the Delphi case from 7 o'clock until I started streaming. Yeah, ringy dingy, time to wake up. Yeah. And Mexie's never up that early. She was on it. What do we got going over here? Let me. You betcha. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. You guys are being bad kids. Okay, I'm gonna read this one, I think, friends. So, and I don't mean that you're being bad, get in trouble bad. You're just, I adore chat. I just love chat. So, an evidence leak, legal filings, and the removal of the original court-appointed defense team spelled another delay in the Delphi case. Attorneys for Richard Allen filed a motion for a continuance to delay the proceedings. The trial has been scheduled for January 2024. Allen's new attorneys indicate that it would be impossible to meet the January trial date, given the amount of discovery material they have to review. The state had no objection to the motion, according to the filing. Special Judge Fran Gull, who earlier expressed skepticism at meeting the January date, pushed Allen's trial back, setting the new date of October in 2024. The trial date is set to take place between October 15th and November 1st. Allen charged with 2 counts of deleting in the February 2017. February 14th is when these girls were found. Valentine's Day, right? February deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German near the Monon High Bridge appeared Tuesday with his new court-appointed attorneys Robert Scremin and William S. Labrado. Mexie, can you find that one for me if you're still around that talked about the one lawyer a little bit? Or do I already have it? Can you remember? So anyways, during the hearing, Gull officially removed Allen's former court-appointed defense team, Bradley Rossi and Andrew Baldwin, from the case. Unlike the brief October 19th hearing, no cameras were involved in the courtroom for Tuesday's proceedings, which started 45 minutes late and lasted about 15 minutes. Remember that one had been charged with something? One of the new lawyers? I can't remember. I mean, it was one of the things we went through this morning, and I'm not sure if I pinned it for this. But I will find out. Okay, thank you, friend. Thank you very much. Okay, so Tuesday's hearing marked 1 year to the day that Indiana State Police announced an arrest in connection with the girls' passing. Rest in peace, ladies. Young ladies. I really, really, truly hope that they are able to rest in peace. Chaos has engulfed the case since September when Baldwin and Rossi filed a motion seeking a Franks hearing to challenge the search warrant. Such a hearing can be requested when the defendant believes investigators included a false statement knowingly, intentionally, or with reckless disregard for the truth in order to justify and obtain a search warrant. They accused Tony Liggett, the current Carroll County Sheriff, of misleading the judge and withholding certain information. The memorandum in support of the Franks hearing also outlined an alternative theory that the girls were deleted in a ritualistic fashion by adherents of a white supremacist, dealing with this Odinism. Prosecutor Nick McClelland called the theory fanciful defense for social media to devour. He described the defense's team 136-page memorandum as colorful, dramatic, highly unprofessional. The filing touched a flurry of legal maneuvering within the defense, alleging misconduct on part of the investigators. Allen's attorney also asked the court to set a November 1st deadline for all discovery evidence to be turned over. But it was an evidence leak early in October that threw the case into complete disarray. A former employee of Baldwin's, that's questionable, but this is what Fox saying, this is what they're saying. So including crime scene photos and disseminated them to someone else. The evidence ended up on social media. The person with whom the photos were provided took his own life after Indiana police questioned him about the leak. The revelation led Gull to call an October 19th hearing in Allen County. Cameras were allowed in the courtroom for the proceedings, which were delayed about 30 minutes. Gull then announced that an unexpected turn of events and revealed that Allen's attorneys had withdrawn from the case. In a later filing, Rossi disputed having withdrawn, setting off another legal back and forth that called for Gull's removal. Eventually, Allen filed a brief asking the Indiana Supreme Court to review Gull's handling of the case. The state's highest court has set a November 9th deadline for materials to be submitted in that matter. Baldwin and Rossi were included among Allen's representation Tuesday, which records records indicating their status as pro bono in the case. Gull, however, reiterated Tuesday morning that both attorneys were officially off the case. It's a battle. It is a total battle. It's just very, very unsettling. No, I don't. I did when my child was young, but no, I don't. And I'm going to tell you what. The reason Franky does not celebrate Halloween is not because she does not like little kids. It's not that first off, I was saying Lizzie should end up in Mexico before I could catch her. She likes to take off the little turd. And besides that, little kids produce snot. I would be vomiting all night long. I can't deal. I know can deal. And that's a true statement. That stuff, it's why I don't go into public pools. It's why it's just like, bleh. I can't look at it. I will hurl. So, I mean, you don't want me like barfing in the candy bucket. So, like, no, I can't. No can do, kids. Bye. Oh man, but it is a true statement. I can't do it. No. No can do. Oh my word. Oh, hold on here. I have to agree. Kids. I don't mean to be grinchy, and I probably had a whole bunch of people just walk out now, but I can't help it. I can't do it. Oh, barf. Okay, let's go back. Okay. All righty. Where were we? James doesn't always work out like that. Look at Murdoch trial for one. All the new lawyers usually start out at the DNA office to start their careers, making them inexperienced often. Canada, yeah, Canada celebrates, but I tell you what, it's usually now kids go to all the stores open and they have little activities going on. So it's usually that way, and it's just basically for the safety of the kids. Tracy, true. But public defenders would have probably been worse. I miss Cheech, though. He was entertaining to watch. Yeah, bingo, boom, right? It does. It does. I don't know why that one had to be behind closed doors. It doesn't sit well. Kids are disgusting. I still have one at home. Mm. I was a let me see here before I do that to you. Paid good. Oh no. P9. I love candy. I make mine go rain or shine. Good. Get me free candy, children. Do you know what I do? Is I'll wait till the next day when everything's on half price. But you know what? I've been trying to lose my fluffy. So not this year. And I'm a retired corrections officer. Can you imagine? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hmm. Yeah. Because the neighbor denied entering my home. Are you serious? Oh my God. Ah, nice. Boom, as we say. Aye. I'm trying to get to this one. Secretaries at the office used to know. Back again, James? Oh, my word. I tried to avoid having the cops know my name. They knew all my friends. They didn't need to know mine, too. I'm covered. I'm good. But you know what? Growing up, the cops were a way lot different than they are now. Like, honest to God. Okay, so what do we got going on here, friends? Let's check it out. After this crap's done.
Happening today, the man accused of the Delphi murders is due in court with his new attorneys.
The hearing comes on the heels of a new request to the Indiana Supreme Court. News 8's Brittany Noble is live outside the Carroll Circuit Court in Delphi. Brittany, what's happening today and what is the new defense asking for?
I don't even like the sound of it right now just because things are so shady. I wish they'd hold off and just find out what happens with the courts. Like, why are we already starting to hand over information? It's harsh.
Well, that hearing is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. The attorneys in the case for Allen are asking the judge to unseal about 100 documents. In that information would be a theory about two young girls that were killed in Delphi. They say it was part of a ritualistic sacrifice. Allen faces 2 counts of murder in the 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. The two were found dead near the Munan High Bridge. Richard Allen's new attorneys, the third to represent him.
I was thinking that. The third. Whoa. Look at how close on this. Check out how close from this tape you can see the water back there. Like they really were not that far from the water.
Filed court documents with the state's highest court yesterday. In the 22-page brief, they argue that the Carroll County prosecutor violated Indiana's open record rules for court proceedings. Attorney Maggie Smith says this is one of the most high-profile cases that the state has ever seen. For many Hoosiers, this is the first time that they have followed the workings of a court in the state.
Yeah, this is the first time that they are literally seeing how the courts work, and this is what they're getting. Unreal.
The Indiana Supreme Court says all parties have until November 9th to respond to Allen's request. Allen's original lawyers have asked the judge in the case to step down or be removed. Again, this is a story that we will continue to follow for you, both on air.
So, yeah. Just waiting there, but it's something. It's let's see what's going on over here for a second, too. Judge disqualifies former attorneys for Delphi.
Also following some news, in fact, some breaking news just into our newsroom involving the Delphi murders case.
A new trial date has been set for Richard Allen, who is just in court for yet another dramatic chapter in this ongoing trial. It's now been set for late next year. It was supposed to happen in January.
Yes, exactly. According to our sister.
So this is probably why his wife ran out of the court crying. You know, damn.
Station WTHR, today's hearing centered around disqualifying Richard Allen's former attorneys from representing him and then setting a new trial date. Now, remember, this is his first court appearance since his original attorneys were removed from the case. Remember that? But get this, during the hearing today, Allen's former attorneys sat next to him, and his newly court-appointed public defenders, they sat behind him. The judge
They're not going to give in, these guys. Like, I don't know where I sit yet.
The judge told Allen she cannot and will not allow these attorneys to represent him. She then disqualified Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie from.
How do we lose volume? Alrighty then. All right then. What the heck? Looking. Okay, so 30-year-old Jesse Snyder moved to Clear Lake, California from Lafayette a few years ago. Last week, his family in Indiana received news everyone dreads. Clear Lake police found a man tentatively identified as Snyder, deceased in the street about 5:50 a.m. on March 20th. This death was deemed suspicious and has been under investigation by the Clear Lake Police Department. On Friday morning, Clear Lake Detective Ryan Peterson said the man's passing is not believed to have been the result of an intended act. But before Peterson was released, the information Friday morning, family members had suggested Snyder might have met a violent passing. So this is a case that comes from this is a case that is associated with how do I put this thing? I'm just going to put that up too. I don't know. I'm hoping this describes everything I'm needing to describe to you guys, because this guy was originally from Delphi and he ran into some real trouble there. So let's see here. Peterson's shop stored of positively identifying the victim pending fingerprint confirmation. Okay, so Snyder's mom, who lives in Lafayette, said Friday will really have no answers. He was seen the night before in a casino with a gal. Snyder graduated from McClellan High School in 1998. After high school, he entered the Army and served in Iraq, his mother said. She said her son had struggled with various issues since returning from Iraq. She talked to her son 2 days before he was found. In October 2007, Snyder was arrested in his rural Cutler home and accused of violating firearms laws. Charges against him were dropped in 2008 after a Carroll County judge ruled the evidence inadmissible, according to the Journal and Courier. Is that all we've got? Okay. Sorry, guys. That really didn't tell us what I missed it. That's kind of on me. I thought it explained more, but it did not. So basically, he was incarcerated, and they do believe that it should never have happened, that he was in there for too long, and that his passing was extremely suspicious. Fort Wayne defense attorney Robert Scramham sat down with Wayne 15's Alyssa Ivinson Tuesday after.
Robert Scrumman with us here today. Several big developments in the Delphi case. We had the change of venue request filed.
Yes.
And the probable cause was released. So let's start with the change of venue request. The defense filed that. And this was kind of somewhat expected, right?
When we had talked last week, that was something that I said we need to be keeping an eye on, and here it is.
So yeah, this is one of the new lawyers. It's a bit long, so I'm not going to go through it, but this would be Scramham. Okay, go away. Don't want you there no more. Go away. Scrumman gives his insight and perspective to both developments in the video above. Okay. On Tuesday, a redacted probable cause was released, and the defense for Richard Allen filed a change of venue motion. All right. I can totally understand. I can totally understand why they would want to change a change of venue. Fair enough.
Right now in the Delphi murders case, there have been new developments today in this ever-changing investigation.
Judge Fran Gull will stay to proceed over this case, and she'll also.
So one thing that really surprised me about this Fran Gull will stay. Why was she given the paperwork for the dismissal that she basically tossed? Why did that go to her? Doesn't that just go straight to a higher court? because basically the reason she's not, she turned away the paperwork. Is that even legal? I don't know.
Also appoint a new defense team for suspect Richard Allen. The judge appointed Allen County Attorney Robert Scremin and Chief Public Defender William Labrato as Allen's new public defenders. He faces 2 counts of murder in the deaths of teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German.
Judge Fran Gull announced that Allen's former attorneys, Bradley Rozzi and Andrew Ball.
So again, it sounds like both those lawyers went to court this morning and sat right behind him, right? Right beside him, and the new one sat behind them. They're not going easily. I hope this woman isn't as crooked as they're trying to make her sound.
Baldwin stepped down during last week's hearing. Yesterday, Rozzi submitted a motion asking that Judge Gull be removed from the case. He claims the judge ambushed and coerced the defense team to drop out last week. Baldwin's attorney claims his client and Rozzi never filed notices to withdraw. Judge Gull responded to the motion today, saying she would be taking no action. In a court filing, she wrote, Attorney Rozzi withdrew from this matter October 19th and is no longer counsel of record. These filings, therefore, are ordered stricken from the record. Now, late this afternoon, an attorney for Baldwin filed motions for the court to reconsider.
So yeah, more paperwork filed, and paperwork that has been sent to the Supreme Court or the higher court, anyways. Higher court than where she's sitting. It'd be her bosses.
Well, the next hearing is set for Tuesday, next Tuesday in Fort Wayne. The new defense team will officially be appointed. Judge Gull announced today that cameras will not be allowed in the courtroom for this hearing. Cameras were allowed in.
That is suspicious AF, guys. Like, really? You're not going to let us see this stuff. Alrighty. It makes no sense. It makes things look a little bit ish, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Hey, Rose. Good to see you, friend. Yeah. If it isn't documented, it didn't happen. Where's his recusal? Well said. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So which way do you guys think this is going to go? Do you think that she's going to get looked at? Do you think that's going to be passed? What happens if they get a new judge? Where does this go? If they get a new judge, how does this doesn't start over again, does it? I remember chatting about this case a few weeks back regarding local police, prison officers being members, of the Odinist cult. Well said. That is this case. It's a mess. Like, it's horrible. It's sad. I feel so bad for those families. We have no rule of law if we disregard the Constitution. Well said. Hello, Rose. Welcome, friend. Welcome. Yes, I think this whole thing is sketch. You will see the cover-up come out soon. That's what we were talking about this morning. This is just, in my opinion, scratch the surface. And if there's pressure continued, we're going to hear a lot more. So guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share. Helps, as every content creator says, it does really help with the algorithm. This is the thing. Where is the documentation of withdrawal? Yes, it will. I think they've already started looking at that, to be honest with you. I don't know. I've lost Shauna nearly. Do you know what, Douglas? That's what we're starting to wonder. Where is this gonna I mean, it has turned into a complete-ish show. It's heartbreaking. And you know what? If for whatever reason it turns out that Richard Allen is innocent and they just wanted to help Toby Lesenby get into his position, there's big trouble happening. If that's the case, I think she needs to be reviewed at least by a higher court. This is absurd. That's what I think, Dandy, you know? And I don't think I'm glad those lawyers are sticking with him. And the only reason, like, I'm not saying for 2 seconds that he's innocent. What I'm saying is he needs to get fair representation so that it is not thrown out later. If it's him, take your time and it will happen. But don't make up shit. Don't throw somebody out as a patsy. It does. It needs, well said, it needs a change of venue. It really, really does. It's just, it's breaking my heart is what it's doing. You know, it makes me so upset for those families. You know, this is 2 little girls. And it's what, going on 7 years? Ay, Chihuahua. Yeah, corrections officers are as corrupt as F. I witnessed it firsthand, and I was one. I hated half the people I worked with. Do you know what? Most of the people I was raised with, I lived in a penitentiary town growing up for a few years, and then ended up moving to another penitentiary town for another 10 years. So, you know, half the people I knew were guards. And when I was younger, half the people I hung out with somehow got to be guards, somehow not got to be. I don't know how they were ever ever able to do that job. And yet they retired from it. And they were the ones I would expect to be on the other side. So yeah, I mean, I haven't worked in it, but I've lived with them for years and years and years. And a lot of friends, used to have a whole lot of friends that worked at the pens. Doesn't she have to have some sort of hearing to prove her point? One would actually think so, Shauna. I don't know. I don't know how she's doing half the stuff she's doing. Yes, they do, James. They sure do. Cover-ups and they screwed up instead of owning up. Fair. Fair statement. Yes, true story. True story. Dead on, James. Alan's attempt to walk or shuffle into court looking like a major mental health issue, breakdown, whatever he tried to do. What's that all about? Yeah, he's trying to pretend he's nuts, and that's why he said, sorry, I'm wash my mouth out with soap. Yeah, that he is mentally ill. So they don't use the telephone conversations that he phoned his mom and his wife about being the guy. He's admitted this, and the defense team is saying, listen, the only reason that he said this is because he was off kilter, not because he did it. So they're trying to shake that. They're trying to make it so it's understandable that he would tell his family that. Oh, yes, he did, right? Yeah, it is. Worldwide, in fact, yep. Yeah, I'm in Canada, and we got the same thing, so, I mean, yep. He sure did. Nope, they don't. Change of venue would knock it back at least a year, if not 2. But they've already knocked it back a year. You know, it's already knocked back a year. So I don't know. Feast or famine? I don't know. Yes, 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 P9. Yes, she needs to be called on her stuff during the appeal. Well, the paperwork's out there, guys. Would you be a fireman? Yeah. I'd want to run machinery, believe it or not. I'd want to be like a crane operator or something. So what about the Odin Co people? What's going to happen? What's going to happen at that prison now that backup is gone? Yeah, he has. It's always the old saying, one rule, law for one, other rule, law for others, right? She'll be removed, no doubt. The bar is looking at her as we speak. Bet money on it. I think you're right. They've got to be seeing what we're seeing. Yep, well said, friend. I was in construction prior and I needed steady work, had no degree at the time and no money for college, etc. Yep. I think it's taking a step up, yep, because it's already been filed. So I'm sure. And they've given them a November 9th deadline to get all of everything that they want looked at to be in. Always going through the worst ever, then the top of that, then have to deal with this farce. Shauna Cawthron, he may not have waived his right, but they definitely are ignoring that. They are too. Regards, threatening his family while wearing their patches. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that stuff. I really, really don't. Yeah, I have a family of firemen. It's noble. Yeah, exactly. Very honorable profession. I was 2 for 15 years. I quit the CFA after major bushfires in Australia 4 years ago. Oh, I remember those. Has to go through appeals court before that happens. P9, total respect, my man. Total respect. Fair enough. I second that. I think the same thing. They'll be burying it, the guards thing. Yeah. All emergency services should have the respect they are truly right. It has always drove me crazy, even starting young, that actors get paid $1 billion to stand in front of a camera, and all of our emergency services are getting like what? It's screwed up in my brain. Okay. County Fire Authority. Thanks for serving. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, we've been streaming for a while again. So I'm going to go look over some documents and I might be back later skata. I want to get kind of documents in order and might be a good idea to go through them. So the next one might just be straight documents. And I can't give you a time because I'm not sure yet. I have real life to deal with. And as soon as I can figure some of that stuff out, we'll be doing this again, friends. So, guys, as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.